tuning into yourself.
Ladies, get up off your seats. Come on and dance with me.
Taking that deep, deep breath.
Gentlemen, get on your feet. Come on and dance with me.
Setting back, relax.
The words and I'll summon the band with my hand.
Greetings and love and kindness, family. I'm KarenKhadijah Davis-Foulks, the one and only Conscious Self-Healthcare educator and host of the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation radio show. Every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Community, this is your time to share your wellness stories and how you move from disease care to conscious self-health care. I want to hear your story. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation each Wednesday. Call in and share how you shift out of chronic disease care stress. Right here on innerlightradio.com, the healing frequency. This is Dr. K, and I am looking forward to our conversation. So call in and share. Health is consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. Come on, family. It's time to rock the world with the new frontier of conscious self-health care, while I share my wellness story with you right here on innerlightradio.com, the healing frequency. All right. Taking that deep breath. Time to tune into yourself, because you're giving your power to no one. People, places, or things, or events. Not even the COVID astrology. Understanding what's going on with the COVID-19. Understand the stagnation in your body and what you need to do to not let it take a hold of you and all your internal organs. Thank you for joining me today, January 27th, 2021, coming to a close of the first month of the year, which gives you so much new opportunities to tune into yourself. You know, it's good to make those New Year's resolutions as they always do. I guess we had some doozies this year that people was truly thinking about. But welcome to you all. Welcome to the new frontier in making conscious self-healthcare moves, or greater conscious self-healthcare moves. Because truly mental observation view is essential for self-success. And these times right here. I'm Reverend KarenKhadijah Abdul-Malik Davis-Foulks, and I am your host, the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation radio show. And you know, I can have a conversation with you when you decide to email me, tell me that you want to come on and share your wellness stories. That's all I want to hear about. That's all I want to share. It's the good news of wellness stories. And yes, I want you to have emancipated yourself from medical mental slavery of taking pills and believing in vaccines and all these things are going to support you. When they tell us all the time how it interferes with your own biological chemical reactions, your immune systems. You know, we're so thankful that Brother Humam Abdul-Malik came on last week and shared where he is. You know, he's been a person that didn't want to take medication, didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that. But after going through the turmoil of every 6 months in and out of the hospital, he decided that he wanted to give it a try. So he came on last week and he talked about it, and I'm still marinating over that. Because I'm living right here with him in the same household. He's over there on Portrait Avenue. I'm on Wellness Boulevard, and we make it work within his house. But I tell you, I truly, truly, truly want him to emancipate from medical mental slavery and the belief in pharmaceuticals when they tell us all the time what it's going to do to our body. But we are where we are, and we honor where we are, and I allow people to be where they are. I just share the information and stick to the things that I know that is true. And I like what Baba Tim Morrow had to say, and I'm going to always share with you right here on the Conscious Self-Healthcare Conversation radio show. Growing old does not make you sick. Growing old does not make you sick. Having a new age does not mean that you get old and can't do things and you expect all these problems in your body. Growing old does not make you sick. It's growing sick that makes us old. It's thinking about those things, trying to work on those things, believing every time that we have a cellular malfunction, that it is of their understanding of disease care, and we must do this and we must do that. We're going to come in and out of having cellular malfunctions. We're going to be tested to see if we believe in what we know and understand. And some people say they know. They know the food is their medicine. They know how they need to heal. They know what they should be doing. But it's that conscious mind, that subconscious mind that gets in the way, that people don't really know where they're working from, the conscious mind or the subconscious mind. But look at your life and see if you find balance of harmony and peace in it. And where is it coming from? Is it coming from you, your divine inner wealth, or is it flip-flopping and coming in and out of what you're hearing and what people are saying to you? You got to get grounded. You got to get grounded in yourself so that you can make conscious self-health care moves, because we know love. Y'all know what I always say. Laws of vibrational energy is the power that brings my entire life together. Let it bring yours together. It heals, renews, restores, and empowers me and you with divine energy and life. Yes, again, we're going to have cellular malfunctions. You got to ask yourself what you have not done physically, mentally, nutritionally to support your body with being where it needs to be. That when you do happen to use that checkup from the Western medical system, and they always bringing you doom and gloom news and telling you you're on the cusp of something and you need to help yourself with this drug, when they have already exempt themselves from the drug, at least in the United States, you know that, because they let you hear the commercials on TV. And if you close your eyes and don't look at the pictures and listen to the words, you know, they're telling you the truth. You know, are you allergic to it? Yeah, you're allergic to it. It's a chemical reaction in your body that's not good for you. You didn't come from nature. No, it came from something synthetic. So it causes problems. And the main thing it does, takes over your immune system. Yeah, it does. That means it's affecting your lymphatic system. That's the guardian angel of the immune system. And it starts with your breath, like they're doing now. Wanted you to say mask up. Now they want you to cover your nose up. You can't breathe. And then they're telling you to better help yourself, put on 2 masks. Why not 3? You know, really trap all that stuff inside of you and create that stagnated pond. You got to think about it. You got to understand what they're doing. More and more people are coming around this COVID maskology breath, you know, and what they doing to the mouth and the saliva and the beginning of all the digestion and what we need with the enzymes and things that we need to happen. You got to understand you can't keep these masks going like that. You got to get out of what they want you to believe about them over you and the virus over you, that it has control over you, when we know the gene is nothing, the terrain is everything. How are you treating your body, the inner wealth, that mind, that state of consciousness? I'm Love in Action. I'm here to let you know that so are you. You are a master of positive self-expression. Yes, you are, even though it may seem sometimes like you flip-flop and you just don't know which way you want to go. Long as you're looking at what you're doing and what you're saying, and you're quickening yourself back to a true state of consciousness, not giving your power to people, places, or things at this particular time or anyone else. So, yes, we are here to be givers and receivers of love through each other, through that magnetic frequency vibration. Yes, laws of vibration, no energy. And y'all know I love Reverend Ike. That's who I started my ministry after his teachings from the age of 8. I love saying that. I used to tell my mom, I want to go and listen to Reverend Ike. And she said, no, you got to go to church until you're 10. And I said, okay, I'm going to do them both. He says, you are the master of your thought and mind. He said, tell your mind what to think, that mental awareness. He said, tell your feelings what to feel, because feelings get the blessings. However you feel it, you got to look at it as a blessing. Tell your body how to react. You got to talk, cells hear and express. Information, frequency goes through. Those words you have turn out to be frequency and vibration and energy. Yes, and the body can understand it. And we must understand that now. And that's why I say to you, as Reverend Ike said to you, master your mind, master your feelings, master your thoughts. what you're thinking, family. You got to think positive thoughts. No, no, no. You are okay. You are all right not to want to have a bunch of negative conversations with people that bring you down. You don't have to explain things to people until it wear you down. You got to keep your energy on a steady flow. The frequency and the vibration, you want to hear a pleasant sound, a harmony like the birds chirping. Taking that deep breath. So, this is a holographic image, and you must tell your human holographic image what to do, how to act, and how to think. And let people call it what they want to call it when you talk about what you're doing, because this is the time to pull yourself out of that state of COVID maskology. Once again, family, truth speaking, the mask is making your body sicker than you think, and it's starting with your mouth. People are having so many dental problems right now, and they don't understand why. Just think of what y'all doing to the babies, making these kids keep these masks on to go to school, to participate in this, participate in that. People are walking the street with it. Hell, people are sitting in their own homes with the mask on. You got to think about what you're doing when you don't allow your body to intake oxygen, starting with the mouth into the nasal, coming up, connecting the upper, as they say, the upper head to the lower part of the body, like everything all together in one system. We got to think about all that. COVID maskology, the study of self-inflicted stagnation and the production of cell life and cell activities, creating an eternal environment of a pond of water that blocks energy flow and cellular intercommunications, stopping or blocking the release of carbon dioxide from the body into the air, causing the reabsorption of toxicity. This process of covert maskology is blocking the common intake of pure oxygen from nature and the natural means of self-surviving as a human being. I'm so glad these people are not putting masks on their pets. Oh, it would really be something going on then. The goal is to contain the germ or the virus. That's why they want you to put these masks on. They want you to contain it within inside of you. Not thinking about the damage done to the human by blocking the proper exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Taking that deep breath, breathing into the air, letting your body purify it naturally the way it's supposed to. Exhale and release it, allowing to go into the air and let the trees and all of nature purify so it can come back into you. Nature knows what to do, family, community, and I'm telling you, so do you. So the goal is to contain the germ or the virus, not thinking about the damage done to the human body, blocking the proper exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Breathing feels so good to exhale and inhale. Feels so good to feel your body releasing all of the tightness in your muscles and your organs and letting it release. Breathing is a natural mechanism of human life and must not be stagnated by the wearing of the mask for daily living or keeping your mind in that state that they want to keep you in. They got you frustrated. They got you believing that if you have this vaccine shot, that it's going to protect you when your own FDA has not approved anything. The only thing they approved is they can do mass testing, seeing if it's going to work or not going to work. The FDA has not approved not one vaccine that you are receiving. These people out here are using you to let them see and don't know what the outcome going to be. That's why we're hearing so many different stories about people taking this vaccine shot 1 and 2, and this one got one shot and this one got the other shot. You are the best shot. Bullseye for yourself with your state of consciousness and how you care physically for this body. And it never, ever, ever needs poison from anything. That's why they have the vaccine court where you will not be able to sue for any complications that come in your life. That's why the commercials and the being is changing about having pharmaceuticals. They're not responsible. You take them at your own risk because they give you warnings. They tell you that it's only going to cause more problems throughout your body, but they also tell you that you don't have a choice. There's nothing you can do. But that's why I'm here. on the Conscious Self Healthcare Conversation radio show to let you know there's a lot you can do when you step into your true self, when you step into your true understanding. So take that deep breath, sit back and relax as you tune into yourself today. We're going to listen to 2 clips today. I needed to sit back and relax this weekend. I happened to come on these 2 clips and it sounded good to me. How to develop your power of right judgment. Because, everybody's in a judgment state. So we got to look at how we're using that judgment and what it really means. That's a 10-minute talk from Reverend Ike. And then we're going to have a 10-minute talk from Bruce Lipton. He's going to give you 60 seconds for 7 days how to think about what you're thinking about to realign the conscious and the subconscious mind. And maybe you need to change some of those programs and some of those tapes that you're playing that you don't even realize you're playing. And then we're going to listen to about 12 minutes of relaxing music. So whether you're lengthicizing, whether you're doing some other form of exercising, whether you just sit back and relaxing and breathing, I really, really want you to sit back and listen to these songs from a CD that I offer through NES Health, Journey Through the Matrix. And we're going to listen to 12 minutes of soothing music. And then we're going to close out with feeling good. Feeling good. We're going to listen to that song and we're going to feel good and know that it's a new dawn, a new day. You know what you're feeling because feeling gets the blessings. Do you really know how you feel? Really think about how you really, really feeling. Most of the time, you got to sit back today. You got to tune into yourself. So freedom is yours, emancipating yourself from medical mental slavery. We're going in our 11th year. We celebrate every April 30th and know that April is Conscious Self Healthcare and Lymphatic Cellular Wellness Month. So I'm going to lead Jamal in a moment into playing our music for the day, and maybe I'll be able to come back in because it is about 30-something minutes of just sitting back and relaxing because I needed that. I was supposed to do part 2 with Brother Humam, but I had to sit back and think and let the energy speak to me about our conversation last week. I still haven't put that up on my YouTube channel yet because I wanted to put the 2-part series together. So I got to think about it. But in terms of listening to people this week and talking to people as I took my walk through the streets and stopped at local stores and just where everybody is and, family, community, everybody's in a state of mourning. Mourning for a lot of things. This lockdown has shifted the energy and what people did and what gave them a sense of purpose, and what had them socializing and being in the world with people that seem like everybody is in a state of mourning right now. So in terms of that, I just want to share with you this article briefly. I won't go into the explanation of each detail right now. I will put it when I post this up on my YouTube channel, today's talk. I'll put the Bill of Rights in there. But it says there's 10 of them. Mourner's Bill of Rights. It's your right. It's also a part of they also calling it the COVID-19 Mourners Bill of Rights. And it says, number 1, you have the right to experience your own unique grief of what's going on. You have that right. No one else will grieve in the exact same way you do. You have the right to talk about your grief. Talking about your grief will help you heal, even if you're talking to yourself, listening to yourself. You have the right to feel a multitude of emotions, a multitude of them. Confusion, disorientation, fear, guilt, and relief are just a few of the emotions that you may feel, and you have a right to process through them all. You have the right to be tolerant of your physical and emotional limits. Your feelings of loss and sadness will probably leave you feeling fatigue. Know that it might be related to that and have a physical effect on your body. You have the right to experience grief outbursts because of what's going on and the feeling of loss of how you did things before and you was feeling so great about how things was going in your life and the things you were planning. You have that right. You have the right to to make use of rituals, whatever they are for you, whatever you see. Like I asked you to sit back and relax, take a deep breath, tune into yourself, learn some anatomy, physiology, pathology, learn a little bit about yourself so you know what's really going on with yourself. So when you go to any health professional to assist you, Western medical doctors, functional medicine doctors, whomever you go to, you know why you're going to and the point that you are trying to create for yourself. If someone want to move you into a direction that's not you, you don't have to go. You have the right to embrace your spirituality, whatever it may be. That faith is a part of you. You have the right to search for meaning. You have the right. You may find yourself asking, why did he or she die? Why is this way? Why now? You know, you have the right to question yourself, sit back and think about it and answer it to your satisfaction. No one has the right to let you live from a man-made mindset of human consciousness, and you shouldn't put yourself in a man-made mindset of human consciousness. You have the right to treasure your memories of how things were going to be, and how you're going to realign yourself right now to create those things again, to have a manifest in your life, to feel like you can take a deep breath, take that mask off. Out of politeness, put it on when you have to. Don't cover your nose and your mouth. Allow yourself to breathe one way or the other way. But definitely you got to get that mouth some air. I'm telling you, everybody's going to the dentist with all kinds of problems. And y'all know I had my own, what I've been going through with my mouth. So that's one reason why I definitely wasn't wearing no mask all the time. And you have the right to move towards your grief and healing. You have the right to move towards your grief, grieve it, and then heal yourself. Reconcile with the way you want things to be. You have that right. And know that anger isn't a bad thing. I've been an anger management counselor for a long time, mainly through Goodwill Industry, working with the population that came through Goodwill. And I'm trying to tell people how to be. When you be yourself and be in tune with yourself with love and harmony, you understand that anger is a good thing. It's just another emotion that you have to express. But when you let your anger get like those people that did what they did on Capitol Hill, that's out of control. You got to know the difference. And you got to be able to allow yourself to express things. And don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it that way when you know it's good for you and you're not doing any harm to anybody else. So if you need to do that outburst, do that outburst. Then sit back and take a deep, 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 deep breath. Listen to the words of Reverend Ike today. Listen to the words of Bruce Lipton. Know in your heart that you are in control of everything. You don't live from a man-made mindset of human consciousness. And you do know how to sit back, be still, relax, take a deep breath, and tune into yourself. We're going to go straight into my commercials, which talk about NES Health. I'm going to spend a lot of time with you next week talking about NES Health and our new opportunities just by using your voice. You may not even have to buy the scan if you don't want to choose to be scanned from your human body field, which will support your pets. You may want to just use the voice technology that they just came out and incorporated with, which allows me to offer you to have a free scan just by using your voice. You won't see the whole scan details, but you'll see enough to make you want to. So listen to my NES commercials. Then, Brother Jamal, we're going to run right into the clips and the music for the day. And do listen to the music. It's going to come from NES. Thank you, fam.
Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your NES Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com, the number 4CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation. 202-248-7749. Is it time for a new approach to your health care? Are you ready to leave the dark ages of disease care management and pharmaceuticals? If your answer is yes, get ready to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your personal health care prescription plan with Dr. K. She is a certified lenthologist and NES Health care provider, sharing the new science of information as medicine and cellular ecology. Did you know that the field of epigenetics states that you are more than just your genes, and those genes do not control your biology? Yes, that's correct. Schedule a Skype, phone, or office visit with Dr. K and get on board the friendship train to healthcare freedom. 202-248-7749. That's 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, forselllife.com. The number 4, the words cell, CELLLIFE.com. Are you at your wit's end because there seems to be no solution to your healthcare problem? Is it okay for me to say to you that you can have peace of mind? Take back control of your health. Are you experiencing anxiety, arthritis, diabetes, cancer, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, lupus, chronic fatigue syndrome, any fictitious disease? Whatever your symptoms or diagnoses are, there is a conscious solution to transform the cause of your pain, not treat symptoms or mask it. No prescription medication, no over-the-counter drugs, no organs removed are required. Take back control of your health by the renewing of your mind. You can create wellness today. Contact Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit us on the web, www.4, the word cell, CELLLIFE.com.
And my brother, all of my sisters.
Developing your power of right judgment is the subject that we're dealing with at this time. And of course, I want to make this personal. I want each of us to make this personal. I'm not dealing in abstracts. So say to yourself, developing my power of right judgment. In this particular session, we are studying James, son of Zebedee, the third disciple of Jesus, or the third discipline, the third attribute of the mastermind. And let's make this clear that James represents a faculty of your being, a faculty, an attribute of your mind. James, the third disciple of Jesus, represents the quality of faculty of mind called judgment, right judgment, wisdom. And James, the mastermind's faculty of judgment, must be disciplined. You must raise James of the faculty of judgment to discipleship. You must raise James to discipleship by disciplining James, or your faculty of judgment, to judge not according to appearances, but rather to judge righteous judgment. This is from a statement made by Jesus in St. John, the 7th chapter and the 24th verse. Judge righteous judgment, judge not according to appearance, but rather judge righteous judgment. Now, it's a very interesting thing about judgment, about justice, which is synonymous. I'm sure every one of you have seen a statue of justice with the scales. And have you ever noticed that justice is blindfolded? Once you begin to study this esoteric science, you will see that there's esoteric science in everything. You'd be surprised to know how much esoteric science is on a dollar bill, even in a deck of cards. In everything there is a story within a story. But justice is pictured as blindfolded, holding scales in the hand. Why? Because justice must be blindfolded to circumstantial evidence. In a court of law, a righteous judge, a competent judge, will not admit circumstantial evidence. And this is how we must discipline our mind, our judgment faculty of mind. Not to live by circumstantial evidence. You know why a lot of people fail, a lot of people give up, a lot of people get discouraged and disgusted? Because they look at circumstantial evidence. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? The Lord's servant must be blind to circumstantial evidence. The Lord's servant must be blind to the facts and figures of how many people are out of work, and I guess it won't be long before I'll be out of work, or I don't guess I can get a job because I see that unemployment is 8% or 9% or whatever. There are certain things that the Lord's servant must see, and there are certain things that the Lord's servant must be blind to. The Lord's servant must say, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord which made heaven and earth. And the Lord's servant must see that his good does not depend upon circumstances. This is how the Lord's servant must judge. The Lord's servant must judge according to law, according to the equity of divine law. The actuary table that shows the different ages and how competent or incompetent you're supposed to be at a certain age, and how long you may be expected to live according to whether you're a man or a woman or a certain race or a certain profession. But the Lord's servant does not judge according to any of the standards of judgment of the world. The Lord's servant must not judge himself or anybody else according to the standards of the judgment of the world. The Lord's servant is to be blindfolded to that. Again from Isaiah, who is blind but my servant? Again, I have to remind you of what I've told you before in our esoteric study, that sometimes the same word has an opposite meaning in the Bible. In one case, to be blind is a terrible thing. Is that correct? In most cases in the Bible, to be blind means you don't see the truth. In this case, to be blind means you don't see error. This is why we have to learn how to rightly divide the word of truth. And you cannot be a fundamentalist and understand the Bible correctly. Because if you're going to be a strict fundamentalist and it says, who is blind but my servant, you may go somewhere and put your eyes out and say, well, the Lord said for me to be blind. But this means that the Lord's servant is what? Blind to error. blind to negatives, blind to the judgments of the world, blind to statistics. I mean, just because it's a holiday and the forecast is that so many people are going to die on the highway, that's not for me. And I got something else to tell you also. You remember when man was turned out of the Garden of Eden and the edict was made, by the sweat of your brow shall you eat bread? That's for natural man. That's not for spiritual man. And some of you haven't understood that yet, and your brow is just pouring sweat, blood, and tears. It's the carnal man. It's the man that does not know I am. It is the man who does not know consciousness. The man who does not know awareness of being is God, that lives by the sweat of his brow. But the Lord's servant, or the law's servant, the man who serves the law, the man who serves divine principle, the man who understands divine principle, the man who lives by divine principle, has infinite God, infinite good as his source. And you see, this is the one thing that we must come to in all of our studies. We must come to understand that spirit is our source, that consciousness is our source. And we must judge according to this, for this is righteous judgment. So that whenever you hear that there is want, lack, or limitation in the world, don't judge yourself by it and don't judge other people by that. Judge I am. Judge God to be your source. And you've got to discipline James, or this judgment faculty of your mind, not to be going around judging according to the standards of the world. One of my favorite scriptures in the whole Bible, perhaps it is my number one favorite scripture, is from the pen of St. Paul. Be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's why I just laughed. A certain minister in California was written up in the newspaper, and they missed and said that, well, sounds like what you're talking about is what Reverend Ike is talking about. Oh, no, he said. The fact that I teach prosperity and Reverend Ike teaches prosperity is not significant. Because Reverend Ike teaches science of mind, and that is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I laugh about that. What in the world are you going to do with the scripture? Be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. You find mind from one end of the Bible to the other. And that is just as much the gospel of Jesus Christ as anything else.
Anything you work hard at, anything you put a lot of effort into, anything you sweat over to make it happen, the question is, why are you working so hard? The answer is, your programs and your subconscious don't support that. When you're thinking, that's conscious mind, creative. I'm thinking. If your conscious mind is driving the vehicle, let's say you're controlling your nervous system, controlling your behavior. You got the hands on the wheel. You're driving the car with your wishes and desires. I want to go here. I'm going to go do that. And I say, great, wishes and desires. Let's say you're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden you have a thought. The conscious mind at this moment, is it paying attention to the walking on the street, or does it go inside your head and look for the answer? That's a question. The moment the conscious mind went ahead, it's not paying attention to what's going on the outside, is it? When my conscious mind is in thought, my subconscious by default becomes autopilot. When I am thinking, my conscious mind is engaged in creative imagination. By definition, it's not paying attention, and whatever behavior I'm engaged with at that moment is now going to be run by what? Subconscious program, autopilot. When you're thinking, autopilot, subconscious is in control. How much of the time are we thinking? The average person, 95% of the day has a thought going on, which means 95% of the behavior during that day is programmed and managed by the subconscious. Your life is not controlled by the conscious mind, which is wishes and desires. Okay? It's controlled by the subconscious, which has been programmed by observing other people. And then your life becomes an expression of their behavior. The programming of your subconscious started in the last trimester of pregnancy and was intense from year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and by 7 starts, the programming is less. So the first 7 years are programming, okay? And you say, but how do I know what the programs are? 95% of your life comes from the subconscious. Point? Your life is a printout of your subconscious programming. So you don't need to go back in your life to find out who did what, who to create the life that you have. All you have to do is look at the life you have because it is an expression of your programs. The things that you like that come into your life easily are there because you have programs to encourage and support that. Anything you work hard at, anything you put a lot of effort into, anything you sweat over to make it happen, the question is, why are you working so hard? The answer is, your programs and your subconscious don't support that. What if, and this is not a what, it's a can do, what happens if I change or rewrite my subconscious? What if you took all the negative behaviors that are interfering with your life and rewrote them with very positive behaviors, with wishes and desires that are the same as the conscious mind, so that either the conscious mind or the subconscious mind are both operating from wishes and desires? Whether you're paying attention or not paying attention, you're still playing wishes and desires. And so in other words, you can have a honeymoon life the rest of your life every day. The only reason you lost the honeymoon is because you went back and got caught up in playing the old tapes and sacrificing and sabotaging yourself without even you seeing it, and the honeymoon ends. If you had rewritten the subconscious program so that they conform and align with your wishes and desires, then it wouldn't make any difference if you're thinking or not thinking. Your behavior in both situations would always lead you to the full happiness of the honeymoon experience as a way of life every day of your life. We look at our lives. We have wishes and desires, conscious mind. We have subconscious program, as psychologists tell us, running 95% of the time, downloaded from other people, and sabotaging our lives. Now we can identify the programs by just looking at your life and saying, where's the part that you want to happen that's not working, and then test your subconscious for whether it supports those beliefs or doesn't support those beliefs. And if it doesn't support what you want, then you can rewrite it. Conscious mind, being creative, can learn in a creative fashion. Conscious mind can read a self-help book and after one reading go, oh yeah, I've been educated, I know how this, I should do it this way, and my life could be really good if I understood this. And then you say, well, I just read the book and I understand how it all works, and yet my life is still exactly the same. You can go to the lecture, you can read the book, you can watch the video, you can even just go, aha. And the conscious mind, being creative, can learn just from simply that. Read the book, it learned. I go, what about subconscious? I go, it's a habit mind. I said, well, how do you create a habit? I go, reading the book once is not a habit. So what's the point? The self-help book you read was picked up information-wise, educated, and enhanced your conscious awareness, and yet didn't touch any of your subconscious programs. You have the same behavior you had before you read the book, after you read the book. Okay? Why? Conscious mind learns by reading the book. Subconscious habit, you don't learn from that one reading of the book. Here's the 3 things to rewrite your subconscious. Number 1, how did it learn in the first 7 years, the programmable period? I say, the brain was in a low vibrational frequency called theta, which is hypnosis. So I say, so if I use hypnosis, I can download a program. I can say, yes, you can. That's how you can do it. The vibration of theta is a low vibration. It's below consciousness, which is alpha. And a higher vibration in alpha is beta, which is like schoolroom studying, work mind, work consciousness. The next one down is more calm, is alpha. When you go down below alpha, theta, which is the hypnosis or imagination phase as well, because children in that theta period, first 7 years, mix the real world and the imaginary world seamlessly, and that's because theta is imagination and reality mixed. And then below theta is one lower vibration called delta, which is absolute sleep. Every day when you wake up, you're coming from delta, the lowest vibration. Just as you're waking up in the morning, just as you're coming out of sleep, the immediate, groggy period in that beginning, that's theta. That's where imagination and hypnosis and reality start to mix together. Every day, when you're going to bed or when you're waking up, you go through a zone of theta. Naturally, from sleep vibration delta, the lowest, to waking up, you have to go through theta. Theta is imagination. So guess what? If you put earphones on and play a program as you're going to bed, just as your conscious mind lets go and is not paying attention to the program at this point, you're really going off into sleep. Theta is engaged. And what's theta doing? Taking the program and downloading it into the subconscious mind, because that's what theta does, hypnosis, bypassing the conscious mind, which just went to sleep. So every night, putting on earphones and playing a program of a behavior that you want to create in your life, repetition of that every night will then manifest that experience. Number two, what about programming after age 7? I go, oh, well, then the conscious mind's working. So how do I put a new program in? I say, you practiced. You repeated something over and over and over again, making a habit out of it. So repetition. I say, oh, you find that your behaviors are not supporting you, then guess what? Generate a behavior that represents supporting you and repeat it just like a player on a sporting team. Go out and do the practice. Just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Even if it's not real at the time, it will become real as it becomes downloaded as a program. Your subconscious will take that program and then use it to manifest life from it. Those are the two fundamental ways. Now, let me just add the last one, and this is really important because you can find it on my website. There's a whole listing of belief change modifications, and these belief change modalities all involve something called super learning. And what's relevant about them is these are practices where you can rewrite a subconscious belief in about somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. A belief you may have had 40 years affect your life. Using some of these technologies, you can rewrite that belief, make a positive belief out of it in anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Yes, we've been programmed. The vast majority of the programs are negative and disempowering. So yes, the vast majority of people on this planet are having that negative experience as well. So the next most important thing now is to recognize, well, if I'm not getting what I want, is it because the universe is not giving it to me? And the answer is almost inevitably no. It's because your own program that's invisible, operating 95% of the day, is keeping it away from you.
Birds fly in the high, you know how I feel. Sunny in the sky, you know how I feel. Reeds drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Oh, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. Rivers running free, you know how I feel. Blossoms in the tree, oh, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and oh, I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean. Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and this bold world for me, and I'm feeling good. Stars, when you shine, you know what I feel. Scent of the pine, you know what I feel. Oh, freedom is mine. Oh, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Wake up, yeah.
Wow, family, that was a great show. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in to the Conscious Self-Health Care Conversation Radio Show right here on NLI Radio. It was a pleasure having you tuning in. Now, you must tell a friend to tune in. And if you haven't called in and shared your wellness story, don't you think it's time that you help somebody with your wellness story? Call in, share your story, join the conversation. I'm KarenKhadijah Davis-Foulks, and I invite you to visit my website, ConsciousSelfCare.com. Or you can just go to the number 4, the word CELLLIFE.com. Leave me some information. I would love to talk with you. And once again, I look forward to you joining us next Wednesday right here on the Conscious Self-Health Care Radio Show. It's a conversation where we uplift each other, where we share our wellness stories so we can help someone move from disease care to conscious self-health care. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you next Wednesday.
We've been programmed with a belief that if you have a good life and you die, you get a chance to go to heaven, which is what? Heaven is anybody's individual thing. I talk to you, you give me your definition of heaven, you listen to my definition, you listen to somebody else. They're all different. We all have creative vision. So heaven is a creative place. And I go, so what's relevant? I go, once I started to understand this stuff, first of all, I never believed in spirituality, but the science revealed using quantum physics and epigenetics that we are a field, an energy field playing through this body. What I learned through this is, first of all, there's no such thing as death of who we are. There's death of the body, but the body is like a virtual reality soup, that an energy field that is different for each one of us is operating in this body. My self receptors on my cells, which distinguish me as being different from you, respond to a different environmental signal than your self receptor. So each of us is receiving like a broadcast that is running this biology. Consciousness is running the biology. Consciousness isn't physical, it's an energy. And I go, why is it relevant? Because the answer was this. The belief that if you do really well and you persevere, and when you die, you're gonna go to this place called heaven. And I go, consider this, that we were born into heaven, that we came here to create. That's what we're doing, we're creating. And I say, when we're creating it right, heaven on earth is here. When we're creating it wrong, struggle is here. And all of a sudden I say, oh my God, don't wait till you die that you're gonna go to heaven. This is it. This is where you came to create. What do you want to create? Love? Coronavirus? You can create a damn thing you want. This is creation plays. But if you don't know that your creations are being controlled, then we become a victim of a world out of control. And yet we were the creators. We gave in to other people's beliefs. And then we now are creating not with our wishes and desires, we're creating with the program. Where's the program taking us right now? And the answer is fear, shutdown, loss of community, breakdown of the system. I go, we can learn or not. That's it. And this is a learning moment. Take your power back. You are beyond, power-wise, beyond any virus that ever existed. You are very powerful. Every human, and this is a fact, every human first 7 years is download hypnosis. The brain of a child under 7 is in a lower vibrational frequency. When you put wires on a person's head, you read electroencephalograph, reading brain activity. A child below 7 has a lower vibration than consciousness. It's called theta. Theta is imagination. Oh, that's how kids play a tea party with mud pies, but to them it's a real thing. A kid rides a broom, it's a horse. That's theta, imagination. Theta is also hypnosis. And the idea is this: before you can become conscious, if you don't have any programs, what are you going to be conscious of? So nature makes the first 7 years. What kind of programs are required to live on this planet? I say, how do you get them? Theta is hypnosis. You just watch. You watch your parents, you watch your siblings, and your community, because you have to learn how many 100,000 rules. Think about it. Just to be a functional member of a family and a functional member of a community, there are rules. Teach an infant these rules. I say, oh, you don't have to. First 7 years, they observe it and just download it. Look, this is not new. I mean, there's the famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And basically said, you come from a poor family and you could struggle your whole life and try to get rich, but you're not going to make it. And if you come from a rich family, you could be stupid your whole life and make it. Not because it was thinking, but it was unconscious behavior that was downloaded from rich families into kids, which is unconscious. So they're making the right moves unconsciously. If they engage their conscious mind, then they look stupid, but it's unconscious. And that's the same thing with poor people. Poor people have beliefs from the family. Oh, you can't make it, life's a struggle, things are hard, who do you think you are? And if that's the program you get, then 95% of the day you will sabotage yourself. And that's why poor people stay poor and rich people stay rich, because the programming. 95% of our life, this is a fact, comes from those programs in the subconscious. Every day, only about 5% of their life are you using conscious, which is creative. 5%.
So your life is being lived, even though you think you're living your life.
Exactly, and you don't see it because it's called subconscious, below conscious. And the Jesuits, for 400 years, they were boasting. People didn't understand. They say, give me a child until it's 7 and I will show you the man. They've been saying that for 400 years because they knew 7 years was the program period. And 95% of your life after that will be whatever that program is. Your life is a printout of your subconscious behavior. Oh, so you don't have to try and think about what happened. I just say, look at your life. The things you like that come into your life come in because you have a program that supports them. But anything you struggle with, work hard at, put a lot of effort into making it happen, why you're working so hard, inevitably you have a program that doesn't support that conclusion and you're trying to override the program. So you don't need to do a lot of shrink and psychology stuff. You just look at your life and say, where am I struggling? Because wherever you're struggling, inevitably it's a program in your subconscious that does not support that destination you've been looking for. The conscious mind is creative and can learn in any number of ways. Read a self-help book, go to a lecture, listen to this program, and conscious mind's going to get some awareness. And I go, yeah, but subconscious mind doesn't learn that way. I go, right, it doesn't. Subconscious mind learns in 2 fundamental ways naturally. Hypnosis, which is the first 7 years. And after age 7, how do you put new programs in? Repetition, practice. You want to drive a car, you didn't learn how by just getting in the seat and put the key in. You had to practice driving the car. You want to learn the alphabet. How many times did you go from A to Z? Try to go to A to Z before you can complete it. And once you completed it, you didn't have to go back and do it again. So 2 phases. You want to train the subconscious mind, hypnosis, repetition. I like the last one because there's a new phrase that's bandied about called fake it till you make it. Meaning, if you're not a happy person, I say, you want to be a happy person? Then repeat all the time, I'm happy, I'm happy. I say, well, you don't look happy or anything. I say, no, who am I talking to? By repetition, I'm talking to subconscious. Okay. If subconscious gets, I am happy, and 95% of your life comes from that subconscious, there will be a point once the subconscious got, I am happy, you don't have to say it again.
Okay.
It'll be automatic.
And that's why we see people do affirmations and gratitude journals and stuff, because if you do that daily...
It's repetitive, and that's the secret part. Putting a sticky note on the refrigerator is more like a suggestion, but it's not a repetition. So it doesn't work very well. But you have to do... Repetition is a habit. It's making habit. So you got to do something religiously in a sense of repeating it to make it work. If you don't like the program, you don't like the way it's turning out, well, then you can reprogram it. And you could get the things you want. The movie The Matrix is not science fiction. It's a documentary. This is the whole story of The Matrix. Matrix, you've been programmed? Oh, we're going to take a red pill and get out of the program, okay? Falling in love is the equivalent of taking the red pill biologically. Scientists have studied what is called mind wandering. I say, what is mind wandering? I say, well, your conscious mind could be focused on a task, or your conscious mind could go off into think about things, okay? And the relevance about that is when the conscious mind is staying in the front, you're in absolute control, wishes, desires, what you want, conscious mind, creative, you're in control. But the moment your conscious mind takes off into a thought or starts thinking or whatever going on, it lets go of the wheel, the autopilot takes over, okay? So the idea is this: if your mind is wandering, then you're being run by the subconscious. And it turns out this is very negative. When your mind is straightforward in consciousness, you're controlling the vehicle. So I say, falling in love has been demonstrated biologically to be equivalent to the red pill, because what it does is it keeps you, what do they call, mindful, keeps you conscious. Look, you've been looking for this partner your whole life. They're now in front of your face. This is not the time to go thinking about things. It's time to be, oh, look what I got right here in front of me. And I say, well, think about it this way. Your life could suck every day, and then you meet this person, and 24 hours later, it's heaven on earth. 24 hours later, oh my God, I'm so in love, Even the job's not so bad anymore, and the food tastes great, and the music is so much better, and love, and love, and love. I go, what the heck happened? You had all of this negative, and then in 24 hours, you have this heaven on earth. And the answer was, it was taking the red pill. That's what falling in love is. At that moment, you stop playing the program. Now you're operating from conscious mind, which is creative, which by definition is wishes and desires. What the heck do you want from your life? If you answer that question, it's a creative answer, and by definition, it's conscious. So your wishes and desires are in your conscious mind. In a normal person's life, 5% of the day, you're moving toward that. 95% you're playing the program. You fall in love, 100, it was actually 90%, I think is the number, 90% from conscious mind. 90% of the day you are now operating from creative wishes and desires. I go, look, I said your life sucked all the way up, and then 24 hours of operating on wishes and desires and not playing the program turned earth into heaven for you at that moment. And then you go, well, how come the honeymoon doesn't last? I go, because inevitably you still have to think about things, your job, your chores, your requirements, what you have to do. And at some point, once you start thinking, then the conscious mind is shut off. And guess what shows up? All those behaviors in the subconscious mind that were negative, 70%. And your partner, remember, your partner and you fall in love same time, both of you operating from conscious mind with wishes and desires. And all of a sudden, you start thinking, and then this behavior shows up that was your mother, your father, or whatever thing you learned. And your partner is like, where the hell did that come from? Who are you? Is a response. It's like, where did that come from? We've been in this honeymoon. I've never seen that behavior. If you would have played that behavior on the first date, maybe we wouldn't have a second date, but now it shows up. And I say, why did it show up? Because I stopped being mindful.
Okay. So how do you teach people to keep the honeymoon alive?
Is to change the subconscious program. and it's simple for reasoning is simple. Conscious mind, wishes and desires. Subconscious mind, program. Well, what if you took the wishes and desires and made those programs? Then guess what? You don't even have to think about it. You will automatically, 95% of the day, be playing behaviors to manifest those wishes and desires. Okay. So reprogramming the subconscious with wishes and desires means you don't even have to think about it. So when you fall in love, the cocktail of chemicals coming out of your brain are things that enhance your vitality, your life, make you healthier, happier, and joy. I go, the same person, if they open their eyes and see something that scares them, none of those love chemicals are going to come out of the brain. At that moment, stress hormones and inflammatory agents are going to be released by the brain. All of a sudden, I say, well, then you change the chemical composition of the culture medium. I go, yeah. Result? The composition of the culture medium controlled the fate of the cells. The composition of your blood controls the fate of your cells. The composition of your blood based on the picture in your mind. Change the picture, you change the chemistry. Almost everybody has the same wishes and desires. To be in love, to be happy, to be healthy, to be peaceful. That's a standard wish and desire of everybody. And if we all lived with those wishes and desires, this planet would change overnight. We would have harmony. We would have peace. We would have nature, community, environment. But until we change those subconscious programs, then we become victims of the program and not creators of our life. And when this is understood, then people could say, wait, I have a choice. I say, you do. You can play the programs you're playing, or you can rewrite those programs and take power back. And that's our destination. Hi, I'm Bruce Lipton, author of the best-selling books The Biology of Belief, Spontaneous Evolution, and The Honeymoon Effect. You know that knowledge is power, but more importantly, a lack of knowledge is a lack of power. And science is revealing a whole new understanding of who we are. We've been programmed to be victims, and yet science and quantum physics and the new science of epigenetics especially reveal that we're not victims, but we are creators. So with the knowledge of the new science, we can manifest heaven on earth. That would be our way of life. And in this regard, while I talk about this a lot, there's an idea that pictures present 1,000 words, and an animation actually represents millions of words. And that's why I'm so excited and in gratitude to After School, because After School has taken the complexity of the words and made it in the simplicity of the images. And that's how we can learn. More knowledge, more power. I hope this presentation enhances the quality and character of your life.